All right, everybody. I don't want to hold you guys up too long in the beginning, so I appreciate everybody for stopping by. I know we're gonna have some people kind of trickling as we're going across. So, as you guys know in the beginning, for those of you that have been here on different episodes and different weeks, every week we have a new guest, and I just want to start off with some announcements and some shout outs. So, as far as shout outs, I always want to give a shout out to my homegirl Tamara Moody. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's the same thing every week. I'm always gonna give a shout out to her. She has her brand, which is gonna be Tight Elbows, and hey, we might have a collaboration in the future. Hey, you never know. You know what I'm saying? But she's doing good things for the veteran community. She's out there. She actually has her own like pressing machines. She makes shirts. She makes apparel, clothing, and it's awesome. Like, she has the whole setup. The quality is amazing. I don't have my Tight Elbow shirt on this week, but I think I had it on 2 weeks ago or maybe even last week. Very comfortable, very high quality. So, I'm saying, hit her up on her Instagram if you want to, help support her out on Tight Elbows. It'll just be under Tamara Moody, TAMARAMOODY. And she also has an Instagram under Tight Elbows. You can just DM her and she'll give you all the details for that. She'll show, what merch she has, so on and so forth. So, hey, we're doing big things out here, So, I appreciate you, Tamara. Thank you for everything that you do for the community. Thank you for continuing and not quitting, because, hey, if you think it's sweet to be an entrepreneur, you're wrong. So I just want to give props to her. Second thing, so I want to go over some announcements. So as of yesterday, we hit our first 100 videos on YouTube. So I want to give a great shout out to all you guys for all the support you've been giving us. It's been about 3 years in coming. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate that. It's been about 3 years since I've had my YouTube channel. And for those of you that have followed from the beginning, started off at mostly fitness, and we kind of eased into the whole podcasting things and with, a couple other random type videos in between. But you guys have supported all the way through. So I want to say thank you so much for that. Announcement number 3, I want to say thank you guys for those that purchased the apparel. And we're definitely going to be doing something special for the 100th episode. So I know it didn't happen yet. I just got to get some time to do it. Maybe, hey, we might do a giveaway. We might, throw a hoodie out there or something special. We might do something for the people. So, make sure you guys continue to follow on the Instagram, which is going to be veteran_influencers for that as well. And also on my Facebook page, which is going to be veteran influencers. I'll post something on there as far as like how we're going to do it. So I definitely want to make sure I get back to the people because you guys have given me so much. So Blackstone Bane, hey. Hey, what's going on? Hey, appreciate the love. Thank you guys so much for the support in the chat. You guys are always on top of it, so I just want to say thank you so much. So, hey, so that's all I got for announcements. Did you have any special shout-outs that you wanted to do?
No. Right now, I don't have any other than, hey, hats off to you, man. I've been following you since you started. Like you said, you started out with the fitness thing, so that always kind of caught me because you were always a pretty fit guy, so. That always interests me. I wanted to keep track of that and just kind of keep in touch with you and support you. So, and I like how it switched into a brand. You started with what you knew, and then you just kind of built off of that. And you're helping veterans, man. So I think that is awesome. So shout out to you, man. And thanks for having me. Thanks for hitting me up and asking me to join in on this. And I'm always down to chit chat with you. We're old friends. We serve together. So, hey, thanks to you, man. Hats off to you. Shout out to you.
All right, everybody. So appreciate the patience. Listening to us kind of go over our shout outs and announcements in the beginning, talk about some achievements and kind of key points, like I said, hitting us for the 100th video on YouTube. So we're at about 1,700 subscribers and building because of each and every one of you guys sharing the word out there and even sharing this post out right now. So if you want to take the time still, you still have time to share this live out, but let's get to it. So as you guys know, I always have a special guest on the show. Every week we have somebody different that kind of represents the veteran community. And as of right now, we've had nothing but veterans. Maybe in the future, we might have civilians that kind of do something that kind of helps the veteran community. But the person that I have on my show today is Gunner Sergeant Jimi Banda. And we go back to about 2014 when I checked into my unit in 242 in Japan. Iwakuni, Japan, for those. Most of you don't even know anything about Iwakuni, Japan, but just kind of like seeing him, he was in the Powerline shop when I got there. I was in the ordnance shop, and just hearing this guy's name, like, oh yeah, Banda this, Banda, like, what the fuck is this dude? Oops, excuse me. He's like, who is this guy? Hey, you guys mark that out. Don't worry about that. Like, who is this guy? And then kind of just like seeing and continue to hear about his reputation and kind of hearing about who he was. I finally met him, and it was like, you know, his reputation definitely preceding himself, and it was just great from knowing his job to just the quality of staff and CO, quality of Marine that this person is, quality of person that he is, always trying to, you know, raise to the top. I mean, he helped me get, when we ended up working together in the quality assurance shop, he helped me get started with school. And the guy literally goes out of his way to help people out. But the crazy part is, like, I've seen some of the things that he manages, and this guy's time management is ridiculous. Extremely smart, extremely fit. He does multiple things from CrossFit to Jiu Jitsu. It's just his own workout program. And are you working on your master's right now, or are you?
You know, I wish. No, I'm working on my bachelor's now.
Okay.
But I wish. I'm working towards that. But yes, I'm still in school, still working on it, but not as fast as I would like.
Okay. But hey, like I said, ever since I've known him, he's definitely been dabbling into whether it's military PME or it's like civilian classes, and just always finding a way to make himself and everybody around him better. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, my brother from another mother, Jimi Banda.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me again. I appreciate all the kind words. You know, I was just doing my job, really, just trying to help out. You know, the thing with school, that really wasn't my idea, man. You know, that was I had to get somebody to take me to the office over there and get me started also. So I just kind of took that and just kind of pushed that on. You know, I'm sure you remember Colonel Basco, then Lieutenant Colonel. He was our CO. One day he came to me and asked me, you know, where I was in school. I told him I wasn't in school. And he was like, well, how do you expect your Marines to go to school if you don't go to school? So, you know, he asked me one day, when are you going to go over to the education office? And I, you know, I gave him an excuse. I told him I'd go later, go tomorrow, whatever. And he's like, well, how about right now? So it's either you go and take yourself or I'm going to take you. And of course, you know, Colonel Basco, that's not one of the guys you want to disappoint. So
right.
I went ahead and made the time, and I went over there because if he would have had to walk me over there and hold my hand, then you know, it probably wouldn't have worked out beneficial for me. So I went ahead and just I went over there, I signed up, and I got started on my first class, and then it was all downhill from there. It was easy. I just kept at it, kept chipping away, and exactly what he said, it happened in the shop. You know, I signed up for a class, and then one of my other Marines did, and then another Marine did, and the next thing you know, you know, in between launches, we're sitting in the shop helping each other out with math and humanities and just papers. Right. I remember Sergeant George helped me out with writing a paper one time. That dude can just spit out a 7-page report like without thinking about it. He was just, you know, exceptional when it came to writing.
Absolutely.
So, you know, we helped each other out with school. And then when I went to QA, I just kind of did the same thing with you. You know, I was, hey, are you going to school? The answer was no. So I was like, hey, let's get it done. So, you know, I just took something good and just kept with it. You know, but he's definitely the one that put that in my head. And here I am still working towards it. Don't tell him I don't have my bachelor's yet. I'm sure he's probably expecting me to be done with that by now.
Right.
But I'm working on it, sir. I'm working on it. I'm gonna get there. So.
Well, absolutely. You know, and myself as well. I told myself I was going to prioritize school. That was one of my goals before leaving here. And I found what I wanted to do for the most part. And I kind of drifted away from it. Not saying that I'm not going to eventually get back to it, but for right now, I found other ways to educate myself. And then, you know, doing the podcast as well. So, you know, we all have different paths, but, you know, yeah, it is what it is. And, you know, and we always eventually get back to that point. So,
yeah, you know, and I had to, so I was going one route with my major, and then I just switched it up and decided I wanted to go programming, because I was thinking smart systems, airplanes, and I've been doing a lot of work with smart systems lately, a lot of numbers, a lot of data. And I thought I was kind of good at it with the data analysis stuff. So I figured, right, if I'm good at it, then I might as well major in it. And I took my first programming class, and I tell you what, I was almost like having second guesses about it. Like, I made a mistake. It is hard. But to me, it's just another challenge. So I'm trying to, you know, find what I like in it so I can stay interested in it. But really what's keeping me interested is that it's tough. It's hard. I don't really want to do it, so I want to do it.
Right.
You know, I've always done stuff that was tough. Always did things that, you know, people said I couldn't do. So this is just going to be another one of those things, man. Programming doesn't seem very easy to me.
Right.
But I think I'll figure it out. You know, I got my best friend Alex. He's good in programming. You know, I reached out to him a few times, and he helped me out with some code. So I think I'll be all right. It's just a matter of, these are my first couple classes in programming. So I think they're going to be tough, but I think once I get past those first couple fundamental classes, I'll get it. So I'm not too worried about it, but it's definitely been challenging lately.
Oh yeah, awesome. Like, and I've always seen you take on different challenges, and like I said, that's what's always motivated me to continue pushing. So, just real quick, for those of you that are in chat, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Please share out the feed if you can. Highly appreciate it. So, hey, let's take it back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to the beginning, because I've seen your hard work and dedication from you being a staff sergeant and kind of seasoned already in the military. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see what that hard work is like. What's baby Jimmy like? You know what I'm saying? Growing up. You know what I'm saying? The rough streets, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of a rough neighborhood, not the easiest upbringing. But what was it like as like kind of like lower up as growing up? So, you know, for me, it was it definitely wasn't easy. You know, so we bounced around different schools. I grew up in a somewhat of a tough neighborhood. It definitely wasn't all shiny and nice. But I had a really good network of friends. All my buddies in the neighborhood, they always took care of me. We could walk into each other's house, no big deal. You know, moms was moms, no matter where we went. They were welcome in my house. I remember all my buddies just come over, and they loved my mom's flautas, man, the rolled tacos. They used to come over and eat those all the time, man. Hey, that's my stuff right there.
But we spent most of the time playing basketball. Honestly, when I was a kid, all I did was play basketball every day. I tried to get good grades as good as I could, mainly so that I wouldn't have a curfew. My brother, he's on, actually, I think he's on there right now. He's a certified badass, man. But my brother, he was a bit of a risk taker when he was a kid. I wouldn't say he's a bad kid, but he definitely was a risk taker. I just basically.
What do you mean by him being a risk taker? Like, did he like? I mean, is it something you could talk about, or you don't want to dry snitch?
Well, no, I mean, I don't think he was a bad kid, but he was a bad kid. I mean, let's
let it be known, you know.
I mean, he was one of those guys that he got the grades he needed to get in school, but that was it. Like, he wasn't trying to go and be an overachiever like he is now. Like in the Marine Corps, he is like the best, man. Like, if you think I'm something, then you got to meet him, because you know all I'm doing right now is just trying to be like him. That's all.
What's his rank?
He's a first sergeant.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be a sergeant major soon. I have no doubts that he will. He's actually on his way to his new duty station right now, coming from 29 Palms. But man, he's been everywhere. So really, I'm just trying to follow in his footsteps. And that's, you know, early life though, it was just playing basketball and staying out of trouble. Trying to anyway, getting good grades and just playing sports. Because, you know, I had my dad at home. He was real strict on me. But I had my brother as well, that he just would not tolerate me getting in any trouble or anything like that. So if I did do anything wrong, I was going to have to deal with my dad, but I was going to have to deal with my brother first. And typically he was going to find out before anybody. So he knew everybody. He had ears everywhere. So I couldn't really get anything by him. So I just stayed out of trouble.
That's
and
exactly
did what I was supposed to do. Play basketball, play football. And that was about it, man. Just hanging out with all my homies back in the neighborhood, just trying to, you know, stay out of trouble and whatnot. I still keep in touch with a lot of those guys too.
Right.
they're on my Facebook and whatnot. They're doing good, doing big things also.
Oh, that's awesome. So you were a big sports guy, huh? So I saw in the comment section, your brother's like, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Hey, he said he want that smoke, you know? But so you said you were like a pretty big sports guy. So two things with that. Football or basketball, you know, preference wise. And then like what positions did you play and like kind of like how far did you go with those? Did you play competitively and maybe little leagues? Did you play in high school? You know, so on and so forth.
Basketball, I played all the way up till 9th grade.
Okay.
Football, I played that. Pop Warner City League, I played that. Played quarterback when I was a little bit younger. I played defensive end because I was big for a younger kid.
Right.
So I've been 5'9" since I was like in 5th grade. It's weird. I was huge.
Crazy.
I was huge when I was a kid, but then once I got into middle school and got towards 9th grade, I wasn't growing anymore. So
Right.
At one point where I was big and I was a defensive end, just crushing guys, it got to the point where I was a quarterback and I was getting laid out. Like I couldn't take it. It was just too small of a guy. I only weighed 115 pounds. I was fast, but that was about it. All I had going for me. So, but if I had to choose, I definitely liked football until I started getting broke off. But basketball was
That's usually what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting broke off too much, and I knew it wasn't going to really go anywhere. I just couldn't get big. And even still, I can't really get big. I try to, but I just can't get big. But
Right.
basketball was my thing. I love playing basketball. We did that all the time. I mean, middle of the night, if the lights were on at the community center, we were playing basketball at all hours. In summertime, we were out there all night playing basketball. No matter where we went, we was trying to find a basketball hoop no matter where we went. So, yeah, basketball is definitely my thing when I was a kid.
Yeah, I definitely know about that. Basketball is like my thing. So for all of you or anybody out there that think they can, hang with your boy, you know what I'm saying? Hey, let me know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want all the smoke, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with it, you know? But no, that's awesome. And to me, like having kids that get, early introduced into sports, I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but that's definitely a great kind of gateway for kids to kind of draw their attention and their physical efforts to, instead of doing other things, like you said, how your brother was a little bit mischievous and you felt like, you were trying to stay away from that. And I always found that, being in sports, especially organized sports, you kind of help with that process to stay away from trouble. So, we talked a little bit about kind of early childhood, with family, growing up in a, certain type of neighborhoods. And we all know there's different distractions that can kind of keep you away from your focus. But so two things, like, what do you think was your biggest contributor to staying away from, the bad things, I guess you could say, in life, kind of going down the wrong path? And what kind of played into the decision for you to actually join the military?
Oh, wow. So, I mean, like I said, my brother is what kept me out of the bad things. That's easy. I definitely had the temptation. It was there, but I knew I was going to have to deal with him. And I didn't want to disappoint him. And so I was always just kind of staying away from the bad stuff just because of that. And my friends weren't really bad either. We all grew up in a tough neighborhood, but my friends were pretty good too. Nobody was out, doing anything bad, hurting people or anything like that. It was certainly there, but nobody really messed with us. We were just a bunch of kids in the neighborhood that just wanted to play basketball. So nobody really bothered us, and we never really did anything wrong. So I would say my brother definitely kept me out of trouble. I just didn't want to get beat up from him, really. I knew he could wear me out, man. My dad, I just didn't want to disappoint him. Of course, my mom, I didn't want to disappoint her either. I wanted to be the first one to go to college. So when I was, younger, I thought sports was going to take me, and I knew that, we didn't have a lot of money, so I was going to have to rely on a scholarship. So I told myself one day that I'm just going to have to be the best at one of these sports, or else I'm not going to make it to college. So I always tried to just overdo it and be good at everything, sport-wise. But like I said, started getting broke off, so it wasn't working. Basketball too, it was, man, I had some really good dudes in my neighborhood, and that was just in the neighborhood. And then in high school, I mean, same thing, exceptional guys. I mean, they were just really, really good. And I was okay. I was good enough to hang with them, but I was not on their level. But one thing I always had going for me through middle school was running. You know, that was always something that was real good. So when I got to high school, that's why I kind of ventured off and started running full time. I ran everywhere I went. I mean, I used to run to high school, like 12 miles away. I used to run there. I used to run home. I used to race my dad down Oak Ridge Road when he would drive down to Hardee's to grab chow. I would race him down the road and try to beat him there and beat him back, because he had stoplights, and I would beat him a lot of times.
Right.
I remember doing stuff like that when I was a kid, and of course, the whole trying to be the best at everything. I've always, told myself that I got to train when no one else is. So when it was raining, I was running. If it was bad weather, I was running. But once I got in high school, it started to get a little tougher, but I still made it to state. My first year in cross country, we made it to state. I was in the top 6. And then track and field, middle distance, I was always fast enough to make it on one of the teams. But pole vault's what took me to state for track and field. But then 9/11 happened, honestly. So 9/11 happened. I have already graduated at this point. I'm going to college. My brother joins the military. And,
what college did you go to?
I went to Valencia Community College and then University of Central Florida. Okay. And then, so when my brother joined, right after 9/11, he was gone. And, first thing he told me was, you're going to go to school. You're not going to join the Marine Corps. Don't even think about it.
I had $1 for every time I heard that.
So I was firm on that too. Like, he used to tell the recruiters, stay away from my brother. He ain't joining. He doesn't need it. And I used to tell him too, like, nope, not interested in going to college. Stay away from me. But then I seen my brother. I seen the transformation in him, and I knew it was tough. So I was like, you know what? I got to try that. I got to do that too. It's hard, so I got to do it too. And that's why I joined the Marine Corps, because I knew it was a challenge. I knew it was going to be tough, and I seen what it did for my brother. So I went ahead and joined up, and he hated me for it for a little bit. He was super disappointed, man. I remember the day that I told him I was shipping. It was pure disappointment. Like, I'd never seen my brother look at me with so much disappointment. But he instantly, like, after I graduated, when I walked across parade deck and I was a Marine, I seen that he was proud of me. But when I made the decision to join the Marine Corps and follow him, he was not happy with me, because that's not what he wanted for me.
So he made it to your recruit training graduation.
Yeah, he was there at my graduation when I was done. He was there. So.
What, did he? So you said he was a first round. And not to throw his business out there, I hope he doesn't get mad, depending on your answer. But was he a recruiter, drill instructor, MSG?
No, he at that time he was young in rank too. Because he went in a couple years before me. So
right. But did he ever become one? Like, did he ever do that at any point?
Yeah, he did the whole recruiting thing.
Recruiting, okay.
Yep, he was a recruiter. Yeah, he's been everywhere, man.
No, that's awesome to definitely see that. So at any point, were you ever thinking Navy, Air Force, or the Army?
Nah, never the Army. Not for any bad reason. Like, my dad was Army, so. Yeah,
we love you, Army. I promise.
Yeah, go Army. I just didn't want to. I didn't have any interest in the Army. Air Force, yes, because I wanted to be an aircraft mechanic. But on my way to the recruiter to see the Air Force recruiter, a Marine guy was standing outside, and I was like, nah, I'm not interested. I want to work on airplanes. And he's like, hey, we got airplanes too. And I was like, okay. So, and then he hooked me. That's all it took. Yeah. So I didn't make it to the Air Force recruiter. He was one door down, but I didn't make it there. The Marine recruiter got me. He was outside. So
I'm telling you, man, like, the same thing happened with me, because I'm not going to lie. Everybody wants to say, I was tough from the beginning. My dad was a Marine as well. 26 years in. And I considered the Marines in the beginning, and I was just like, I remember my dad. I was like, that was a tough dude. I was like, I don't know, and and he was a little rough around the edges. Not to throw my dad out there. I love you, Dad, but he was a little rough around the edges. I was like, I don't know if I want to turn out like that a little bit. So I was like, all right. I considered like the Navy. I never really considered the Air Force. I didn't really know anything about the Air Force. That's kind of what it was. Kind of growing up, you hear Navy, Army, and Marine Corps. I didn't really know anything about the Air Force. And, I was scheduled to come to see the Navy one day, and, they weren't there. Like, dude, like, how are you going to not show up to a meeting? So I was like, all right, I'm on my way out. The same story as how you're saying. I was literally on my way out. I was like, man, whatever. I didn't want to be here in the first place. My dad's like, you're going to go talk to somebody. I don't care what branch. You're going to go talk to somebody. So I'm on my way out, and guess who, like, hey, man. Come here real quick. I was like,
they got
this dude.
Everything.
With the screaming high and tight. Who's this dude?
Yeah,
And I was like, what's going on? He's like, hey, you're here to see me, right? I was like, am I? He's like, well, let me talk to you about a few things, pulled out the little tags on me, and I saw people, I had seen people working out, because that was probably like my third time in the recruiting office. I seen people running outside. I was like, hey, well, I'm not sure if I want to sign up, but I want to go run and work out with you guys. Can I do that? Yeah. He's like, yeah, you just gotta sign up first. So I was like, all right. Yeah. Didn't know exactly what I was doing. I'm signing papers away. Ended up working out with those guys, smoke checking a lot of them. I was like, man, I could really do it. I kept going back and forth whether I was going to join. And, I kept saying I was going to do it this day and this day. And the guy's like, you know what? Maybe it's just not for you. I was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, I'm saying? We got plenty more people. If you can't do it, then just say you can't do it.
Oh, man.
Bam. That was it right there. I looked at this dude. I was like, you know who you're talking to right now? What you mean if I can't do it? I'm running circles around everybody here. Don't tell me I can't do something. But come to find out, that was a tactic,
Yeah, he got you. Yep, he got you.
No, that's awesome.
Mine was weird, man. I when I went to recruiting office, I was like, because I was like, hey, I'm like a little in the middle here, so you gotta ship me. I gotta ship soon, or else I ain't signing. And man, I went to MEPS that afternoon, and then I took my test that afternoon. And on the way there, I met with like somebody at a rest stop who signed like some papers. And when I left MEPS that afternoon, though, I had already swore in already. It happened so fast.
Right.
On a Wednesday, that happened. Thursday, I told my mom and dad I was leaving Sunday. Like I was in the depth for 3 days. It's crazy. But I told him, I said, look, there's Staff Sergeant Camacho was his name. I was like, I gotta go now, or else I'm not gonna sign it. Like, so you gotta figure this out. And he was like, I need a shipper anyway. Let's make it happen. And it all in one day. That dude's crazy.
No, that's awesome. And I'm glad I did it. Like I said, I was really hesitant at first, but I mean, we're talking 16 years ago when you look back. So it's like, I'm definitely glad I stuck with it. So, that kind of talked, like I said, we went over your early life, spoken on like the different things, obstacles that you kind of went through, and then also what your motivation was to kind of join. So let's talk about you actually joining, you as the Marine, and then let's kind of talk about your transition toward retiring and the whole entrepreneurship as well.
All right, so yeah, my first couple of years in the Marine Corps, they were pretty tough. I joined my unit, and we immediately deployed. I think it was a 9-month deployment, my first one, and it was on the boat, the Carl Vinson.
You get broken in.
Yeah, it was pretty tough, but I learned a lot though too, because my NCOs, they were all stop loss. So that was a pretty unique situation, because a lot of those guys, they were supposed to be going to college. Like they had dates. I mean, they were ready to go, and they got stop loss, and they had to go and do this 9-month deployment. And there was a point in time where they were like, I shouldn't even be in the Marine Corps right now. I'm supposed to be going to college. So, that was a pretty interesting first couple months, because some of them were just didn't want to work or refused to work, or they were just sour. So a lot of the stuff got pushed down on the junior ranks to kind of fill those voids.
Right.
So we had to pick up the slack in some cases. But my NCOs, the ones that were stop loss, they all stayed somewhat positive. You know, they didn't really like get sour or nothing like that. You know, but they definitely gave us a lot of responsibility early on. They definitely didn't like just kind of run the show because they knew they were leaving as soon as we got back. So they made sure that we knew exactly how to run a shop at a very early rank. So as a lance corporal, you know, I was running a crew as a lance corporal, you know, doing everything that an NCO would do, picking up rank pretty quick, you know. It was a tough first couple years, but it was fun. I think I ended up picking up sergeant in the first couple years, so it wasn't too bad, you know.
Well, that doesn't surprise me though. Like I said, just knowing your work ethic and like seeing how you were excelling in your MOS and just overall as a Marine from the time I knew you as a staff sergeant, I was like, I guarantee this dude picked up fast. It's just how you were. You were always on top of your game. I just figured you probably picked up pretty fast.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I know other guys that picked up just as fast. You know, it's nothing crazy out of the box or nothing like that. You know, but yeah, I was fortunate to have some good leadership that put me up on boards and prep me for those things and whatnot. So, you know, I was fortunate to have some pretty good leaders that helped me pick up the rank pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, like I said, I would have already figured, I know, and we're going to get to this part in a little bit, but I would have already figured that, you know, you had an early on, you know, successful career as a Marine, just like by judging how you were when I met you. I know you already spoke to me about how you transitioned out the first time, which definitely surprised me when you told me how fast you picked up. But if you can kind of like hit on real quick, and then we can kind of ease into the transitioning as you know right now as you're transitioning out, because you've been in 17 years.
Yeah, about 17.
Right. So we'll kind of hit on you know, you transition, or how, as you got out for the first time and came back in, the kind of the struggles of that transitioning out for like retirement wise, and then like where the entrepreneur side of you kind of came in, and then, you know, we'll speak about your foundations and all the great things that you're doing right now as well.
All right. Yeah. So a lot of guys don't know that I got out. I got out after my first 5 years. You know, I wanted to be a family man. I just wanted to just let it go. And I figured that I had a good background. I was set up. I had a job waiting for me at Boeing, and I didn't want to deploy, you know, the typical stuff. I just wanted to stay home with the family, with the wife and kids, and raise my boys. You know, so we moved to Texas, got out. I went and worked for Boeing, and everything was great. You know, it was all right. But then I missed the Marine Corps. And then my wife was always telling me, like, you still cut your hair, you still shave, you still act like a Marine. And, you know, so why'd you even get out? So, you know, when I got her pushing me back into the Marine Corps, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to the recruiter and see if I can just sign back up. So, you know, obviously I came back into the Marine Corps 2 years later, so I got that broken time. But a lot of that was largely due to her, you know, supporting me and saying, hey, let's go back and do it because you were good at it and you still act like it. So you might as well just keep doing what you're good at and go back. Because, you know, I missed it too, the mentorship side and stuff like that. So I came back into the Marine Corps, and then, you know, now fast forward to where I met you. Right. When I came back in as a staff sergeant, served a couple more years with 314. And then I went to Japan, where I was trying to get for the longest. We finally got orders there. You know, I met you in Japan, and then, you know, now I'm on the back end of my career, working in Quantico, working as a data analyst, just kind of riding the desk right now for Headquarters Marine Corps. You know, looking forward to the retirement. It's only a few years away. So, you know, what I've been doing lately, as you talked about, is I've been helping out Enlisted 9 Fight Company. You know, it's a Jiu Jitsu gym. It's a brand. I've been coaching for them on the side, and then now that they have their own gym, I've been coaching there primarily for them. You know, we got 2 guys that went in to start this business And so I've been able to kind of live the struggles of that, because my big dream is to own a gym one day, to have a jiu-jitsu facility of my own.
Right.
So I've been able to kind of see the struggles that they're dealing with, and it's tough. I got to say, it's definitely nerve-wracking, but they're making it happen.
Real quick, not to cut you off, but because I definitely want to kind of like hone in on the mental and physical struggle of getting out, because one of the things that we kind of focus on a lot on the channel is helping just helping veterans to transition out, what kind of key things to know. So I want people to be able to resonate with your story. Can you kind of explain like the mental struggles of getting out, and the kind of things you dealt with while you were out, and like whether it's financially, monetary, mentally, and just kind of hone in on what you went through on that transition? Because there's a lot of people that watch this that are actually either considering transitioning out, or whether they're going to retire, or, maybe they are actually.
Yeah, it was, once I was a civilian, that was all right. But then once, insurance started coming into play, all those other costs that you don't think about when you're in the military, housing costs, insurance and everything else, it all starts adding up. So even though I had a really good job and I was making really good money, it was just different. We weren't struggling or anything like that. We were still fine.
Right.
But it is definitely a different type of a mental drain. It's not the stability, the friends, the core, the community that you have, the support left and right. It's just not there when you transition out. When you transition out, you're kind of on your own, and I wasn't really ready for that. Honestly, I thought I was. I thought I wanted to just get out and be a civilian, and I had this great job. I had the dream job. I was set. But it's definitely not. It's not all easy. I wouldn't say it was mentally like tough for me or draining or anything like that.
Right.
But it definitely brought a lot of other types of stresses that were different, and it was just more so not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow, not knowing if this company was going to be able to keep this contract, if I was going to get laid off. That's what I was really worried about the most, was where am I going to get a paycheck next month to support my family? In the military, I don't have to worry about that. Like, I know it's coming. Like with this COVID that's going on right now, my paychecks never stopped. I never had to worry one bit. And I feel really bad for some of the, people out there that they don't know where they're going to get money next month.
Right.
I didn't have to worry about that one bit being in the military. So right now would probably be like one of the toughest times to not be in the military, because I just don't know, like, I could not fathom like what those guys are going through. It's got to be tough for them, figuring out how they're going to pay the mortgage, how they're going to pay for life insurance or health insurance next month. But for me, I don't have to worry about that. So, when I transitioned out, those kind of struggles and stresses were definitely there. Grass wasn't greener on the other side for sure. The money doesn't buy happiness, all that good stuff.
Right.
It isn't like that at all, man. I think my wife was happier when I was in the military than when we were out of the military, honestly.
Like a stability type thing, or she just how happy it made you?
I don't know. I just think that she enjoys the community, being around, the military community. I think she just likes that in general.
Right.
Why she misses Japan so much, because in Japan, it was such a small community, such a small base. I think she likes that kind of stability. So, but when we were out, we had our own house and everything, and civilians. But it was just different. The same support group is not there. Like my neighbors, I didn't know my neighbors. I don't know who they are. But
right.
Military, everybody. Everybody knows, and some people don't like that, but
right.
I think for us that's a good thing. We like that stability, not having to wonder what's going to happen tomorrow or next month.
Right. It's like community. Like like if you leave your house, someone's got your back. If you see someone trying to like creep up and break in, someone's like watching your house. I always felt that, especially when I lived on base and when living near like a military town, I always felt that, a little bit more of a sense of security living in Japan. I mean, people leave their cars unlocked, their houses, and just kind of walk around. Their kids walking to school, and you never really worried about it because I felt like it was one big community and everybody had each other's back. So
yeah.
So I mean, now we can kind of get back to like the aspect about the foundations and you as far as the entrepreneur side and what you're doing for the veteran community as well. And I know that our viewers out there are gonna love this part because just people that give back to the community selflessly is like, as definitely, I know it's resonated to me. And that's what I try to do as well. Like, even with this podcast, I feel like you can kind of give people like a different platform. And, as we continue to build, we get more and more attention from it. So can you kind of go over that a little bit?
Yeah. So what I've been doing the past couple of years is I've been coaching Jiu Jitsu, just passing off what I know, what I've learned, what somebody's taught me. It's the best that I can do is spread that self-defense, confidence, whatnot. And, there's some guys out there that just need an out. They need something to do to get rid of that mental stress that they have. So, I've been training with Colton Smith, and now that he has his gym that they opened up, him and Rich Bazinski out here in Stafford, they opened up their own gym, and I continue to coach out of their gym. I volunteer my time and help them out. So whenever they need to go out of town or they need to, do something, because, Rich has another job, a primary job. He works for Lockheed Martin, and Colton is active duty Army. So he's got that going on. So we have to rely on each other. And, I'm not a business owner, but they treat me like one. If I need to go and cover for them, they'll give me the key and I go, and they trust me enough with their business and their brand. So much that they don't even have to be there. They know that I'm going to run it just like they would. So, I've been part of that whole build up. And now that we've started that, it's grown huge. We've got so many members, sometimes the house is so packed that we have to kind of, watch what we're doing because we're just on top of each other sometimes. And we had to have more classes. We started out with just a few. Now we have to have more classes just so that we can accommodate all the members that we have. So that part's been great, and because I've been able to be part of that, that helps me kind of see the challenges that I'm gonna have if I decide to, go that route, which is what I want to do. I want to open a gym one day. So now I know some of the struggles, the startup, all the details and like that, because they brought me in and they shared that with me. So now I'm ready for that. I feel like I'm a little bit more prepared for that piece, and lately or recently, I teamed up with the Ronin Foundation. An old friend of mine, Marcos Martinez, he's a brown belt. He's the one who started me in Jiu Jitsu.
Love that guy.
Yeah, he's Crash Fire Rescue down in Iwakuni when you knew him.
Yeah.
He's in Miramar. And he's the one who drugged me onto the mat and handed me a gi and said, "Hey, let's go after this. I want to show you something." And I've been at it ever since. So he's the one who started me in jiu-jitsu, and him and Adam, his OIC from Japan, Adam started the Ronin Foundation, and they needed some guys out across the other bases to kind of be their eyes and ears in other locations to try and help out. And what they do is they provide scholarships to active duty Marines, sailors, Army, whatever, that are dealing with demons inside, suicide, they're dealing with stuff like that. We're trying to get those guys, free memberships. They pay for that. They support them for, first couple months or whatnot. They give them a gi, they take care of all that stuff. And my job as an ambassador here in Quantico is to meet up with those guys and, get them comfortable, take them to the gym, get them started, and kind of facilitate that transition to get them to doing something instead of just, sitting and staring at a wall and dealing with these things by themselves. So that's what I've been involved in lately is trying to help out the Ronin Foundation as much as I could, volunteer whatever time I have for them and get them set up to where I can, help out these guys that are here that need help and take them to the gym that's closest to wherever they live. And the Ronin Foundation takes care of that, takes care of their membership and whatnot. It makes it easy for them.
No, that's absolutely awesome. And it's like, so real quick, is there like a link that we can provide if people want to donate to that, or if people want to help to kind of support the cause for that?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Actually, I'm gonna put it on the I'll put it in the comments right now, and then we can add it to the link there. But yeah, they have a page, they have a Facebook page, Instagram. They have all that stuff. So yeah, for sure, hit them up, like, share, and if you can, yeah, please donate to the foundation, because the money that they raise, it's gonna go to someone's scholarship. And one of the things that Adam told me a few weeks ago when we had our meeting, and it just stuck with me, is he said he wants to be broke. He does not like having money. So I think that's awesome, man, because he feels that if he's got money in the bank, then somebody isn't benefiting from his program. So get the word out. If you know somebody that needs help, that's dealing with demons, any kind of mental issues, get them to us, refer them to us, let us know who they are, and we'll reach out to them and we'll get them the help they need, and give them something else to do than dealing with that stuff by themselves. And we'll get Adam to spend some money, right? He wants to spend it, so let's give him a way to spend it.
Yeah, we need more people that want to give away. Just, you know what I'm saying? He's just in here trying to make it rain. If we can get that money, you know what I'm saying? We definitely for the community, I definitely want to find some people that's actually going to help out, and kind of going off of what you were talking about, there's definitely a lot of people, a lot of veterans that have been dealing with like the demons that you speak about. Cause I could just tell by the people that are supporting you here in the chat. A lot of people mentioning good things about you. I have a lot of, of my prior Marines is just people that have heard about me, that have reached out to me and, just to tell me, what they're going through in life. And to me, that's a privilege. To others, that may seem like it's something that they can't really take on. But like the fact that someone's willing to open up and tell me the type of problems and things that they're going through, to me, like I appreciate stuff like that, because any way that I can help others out, if I know how to do it, or if let's say I can't do it, I can refer them to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys are dealing with an actual foundation that's actually helping assist in those type areas. And, just like you talked about jujitsu, and, from when we talked, jujitsu is something that kind of like allows you to get your stress off, things that you go to clear your mind. And I mean, you got to think the whole foundation of what a martial art is in the first place. It's mind, body, and soul, and it's definitely therapy for a lot of people. So if you can help in that way, man, that's absolutely amazing. And when we get that link, everybody in the chat, we'll put it in the videos that we put throughout the week. I'll make sure that we put the link down there. So if you want to kind of support toward that as well, we'll make sure that's definitely a viable option for you guys. So no, that's awesome. Like I know there's a lot of viewers that are out here. I know you talked about wanting to open a gym. I'm not going to give away too many spoilers, but hey, we might have a couple people in the near future talking about literally the steps of how to open a gym.
Really?
And you know what I'm saying? And I would definitely love to have you on there for that one. And I know there's a lot of people that have actually asked me about it. So I want to make sure I get back to the veteran community. So if you guys have, certain ideas, make sure you guys leave it in the chat or leave it in some of the videos that we use to promote the live feeds or the other snippet videos that we put out for YouTube and on Facebook. And just let me know the different things that you want someone to kind of go over. Because I think Jimmy did an amazing job and just kind of like giving a picture of who he is, speaking about some of the struggles and things that other veterans endure while going through this whole thing that we call military life. Because if you haven't done it, listen, I don't care how many stories you hear. If you haven't physically gone through military life, it's almost impossible for me to fully explain what it's like, and I'm sure you can kind of attest to that as well.
Yeah, not to mention there's so many variables too. Like one story isn't going to be like everyone else's. You can talk to 6 different Marines in the same exact shop, and they're all going to have different stories, different backgrounds, different cultures, and different struggles comes with all of that. So yeah, it's definitely not a one size fits all. Like everyone doesn't have the same issues in the military. They have their own unique type of issue. I mean, I've dealt with it all, man. It's crazy. Like some of the stories that you hear. So no one person has a solution and no one person has all the answers. That's a fact. I definitely don't. I constantly have to reach out to to mentors and some even junior guys and ask them, for advice. I definitely don't know it all. And sometimes you can learn a lot from a young Marine, a Lance Corporal, and a lot of senior guys, they don't like to admit that, but you can learn a lot from a junior Marine. Because for one, they're just, they're just like a child. They'll just say anything, they'll just tell you how it is, especially if you make them comfortable enough to spill it. But they just haven't, seen everything yet. So sometimes you can learn a lot from them. So I like to engage in them, talk to them, see what's going on in their head, and just kind of go from there. But yeah, I've heard it all. It's crazy how many different stories is out there. You have to treat everybody just a little bit different. You can't treat them all the same. It's definitely different.
Absolutely. And that's definitely like a huge key to leadership, is like, you can't, what works for one person may not work for, the majority of other people. So that's definitely a great lesson for those of you that are seeking, some advice in leadership. You can't bring the hammer down on everybody because you think it worked for one person. So we got about 5 minutes left. So this is the type of segment, this is the time of the segment where we like to ask you, like, is there any last words that you want to leave with the community? And then after that, how can everybody find you?
All right. So a big shout out to you, first of all. If you guys don't follow veteran influencers, follow them. All right. The podcasts are always exciting. They're fun to watch. You're always an exciting guy to listen to.
Appreciate it.
And you always have good guys on this podcast. So for one, hey, thank you for asking me to get on here, because some of the other guests that you've had on the show, exceptional, and I think it's awesome that you're grabbing those guys and gals and interviewing them. I don't think I'm doing anything special, so thank you for putting me in that group of your other guests. I appreciate that. But I'm just trying to, be me. So, but thank you for asking me to come on the show. I appreciate it. But yeah, like, subscribe, follow Chris on Facebook, Instagram. He's always got good content, whether it's fitness, business, even how to set up podcasts. He's the guy, he's lived it. He's gone through all these struggles. So, big hats off to you, man. And for me,
for that.
Yeah, for me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I think my tag is Jimi Dean 23. It's pretty standard. I think it's been that forever. Yeah, Jimi Dean 23 E9 BJJ is my tag on Instagram. I'll throw it on there if you guys want to follow. I try to post up stuff that I'm interested in. So I have a little bit of photography, a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of my dog, my German Shepherd. So. It really just depends on the day. I'm not an only jiu-jitsu on my Instagram. I just kind of take random pictures and whatnot, whatever's interesting that day. But yeah, shoot me a follow, and I'm always available if you got any questions about the military, getting out, jobs after the military. If you know me, if you serve with me, and you need a reference or something like that, hit me up. I do that quite often. Believe it or not, Marines that have transitioned out that I've worked with, they're looking for jobs and stuff like that, and they need somebody to write them a letter, and I will always do that. I will take the time and stop whatever I'm doing, and I will write a letter for anybody that I have served with. If I can give back that way, I will do that. So if you're out there and you need a letter of recommendation, just ask. Shoot me an email, direct message, whatever, and I'll hook you up. All right, and I don't just hand them out. But
yeah,
but I will. Yeah, but for the most part though, I don't really have any bad Marines either though. I was thinking about that earlier. Like, who would I not write a letter for? And I honestly can't think of that many. I can't think of any, honestly, because if there is a bad one, then I would say that would probably be my fault. Because most of the guys that I deal with, you know, I had an influence on them. So if they were a bad Marine in any way, shape, or form, then I would have to point the finger at myself for that. So I think it's a good thing that I can't really think of any bad Marines. I guess I did a pretty good job. So hit me up if you need a letter, if you're looking for a job, or if you just need any advice. I'm always down to chit chat, talk about past times and futures. Let's help each other out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just for you guys, like, I like to point out like little key points of the, you know, the segments that we have. That's another huge portion of leadership is, you know, when something happens, it's your fault, you know. Now, granted, obviously some things you can't control, but as a leader, like, if you're a good leader, you take it personal. Like, what could I have done differently? How could I have changed the outcome? And I think that's kind of what Jimmy is saying, is just like, take ownership of your people. Like, if your people are failing, that's a direct reflection of you. Because guess what? When things are going great and everything is sweet, you're probably going to get credit for it, you know? So, man, that's awesome. Just like I said, my kind of shout outs, or I want to give a shout out to Jimmy for accepting the invitation to come on the show. It means the world to me. And like I said, when I decided to even start a podcast, there were certain people that I had in mind already, and you were definitely one of them. So, and that wasn't even any question to it. Like, you were on my list from the get-go when I was even planning out how I was going to run a podcast. So I just want to say thank you. I know you're a huge motivation in the veteran community. A lot of people know who you are, and I don't think I've ever heard anybody say anything bad about you. So, I mean, like, your reputation, it's already created. So I just want to say thank you for that. I want to say thank you to everybody that has constantly shown your support. Those of you that have been in the chat, that have listened to us run our sucks for a while, thank you guys so much for being a part of this community. I know I see some of the same people week in and week out supporting, from when we had 0 in the chat to now we have 9 in the chat. Thank you guys so much for supporting, and mentally, morally, monetarily. I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you guys. We are going to continue to build this platform. There's so many more things. We're going to go to doing a little bit more than just one a week and then posting the YouTube videos and the Instagram snippets throughout the week. We're going to be doing live sessions throughout the week as well. So, you know, hopefully Jimmy accepts some invitations to come on throughout the week. Now that we got his whole background and everything, we can kind of go on to like specific subjects. And I know he has so much to give to the community. So,
yeah, man, for sure. Anytime, just let me know. Give me a heads up, and I'll make time for it. I'm always available.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, well, on behalf of the Veteran Influencers community, once again, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be a guest. Thank you guys in the chat, and we will see you guys every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We were always on here. We've been on time. You know, it was only one time, all right? Don't get off me for that. Only one time. That was the very first time going live. I didn't know how it works. So, hey, we've been on time ever since then. So I just want to say thank you guys so much. Continue to support. All right, I'll be putting YouTube videos. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, go onto YouTube right now, the channel Veteran Influencers. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up, please, to help kind of push the video out. And we're going to have different segments probably starting tomorrow. And then we'll have the full interview most likely by Tuesday of next week. So thank you guys so much for everything. And we out. Peace.